Okay, continuing on with Rise from the Ashes. Final day, trial former. From chapter start. So this is gonna be another two-part trial, I think. Just judging from the title. Alright, February 25th, 9:47 a.m. There's the court, defendant's lobby number 2. This is the defendant's lobby, alright, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth! I wasn't expecting to see Edgeworth here, okay. Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7 ID number is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt on this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling on the defendant. 5 minutes after the trial starts, Lana will be found guilty. But she didn't do it. I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever said something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth. Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, Wright. This can be an interesting case, so we gotta get Edgeworth on our side, pretty much. This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gaunt has on her, it's now. Oh boy. November 25th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. Alright, let's do this. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gaunt? Huh. A proposal? This is interesting. What do you have to say? Morning, oh god. That was, he didn't even, like, stare for a bit. Usually he, like, stares. Morning, folks. How's everybody been doing? Hey, Udgy. Been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning in enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Ah, there's the stare. Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted a request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. Oh no, is he trying to get her to... Let's see, what is she gonna say? What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all the charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No. Oh boy. Well, that just went terribly. You can't. Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But, Lana, Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Huh. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there is no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for the verdict has come. This court finds the defendant. That was Edgeworth. Yeah, that's what I thought. I heard Edgeworth. One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut? Huh. I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gaunt. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. Oh, that was a low blow. Huh, I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh? To whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of the truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gaunt? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take his horse by the reins. Yeah, more like he decided to save your ass. Good job, Edgeworth. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark, of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, most certainly it is. Well, okay then. He sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear. Why yesteryear? Did you really? It's been a long time since I've heard yesteryear. Has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. Witness testimony 2 years ago. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Well, that was short and to the point. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence or idea. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. More like, let the prosecutor begin his cross-examination. He's doing a better job at this point. Okay, let's see. Waiting in her sister's office that day. So, let's just I need a bit more information. Like, this was such a short testimony, so I guess I'll press on a couple things. So let's find out why she was waiting in the office, first of all. 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective as the police department, correct? Yes. She was second in command under Chief Detective Gahan. My sister. She was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Chief Detective Gahan and Miss Sky used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. Was the ceremony the shield? I'm pretty sure. A man came in running in and took me hostage. That was Joe Dark, right? And that man was a man. Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of the ceremony. We were desperate to get anything out of him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled to the room, right? Upon fleeing to the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky and Gaunt's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me. What else? Okay. What about the details of Neil Marshall rescuing you? What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were two people present during the Dark's questioning. Detective Damon Gaunt and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Gaunt was there too. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Yep, that's what I thought. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assume that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but well, I'll never forget what I saw that instant. Okay, yeah. But I'll never forget what I saw that instant. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark, and then, just then, the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. Then suddenly, that sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. Obviously I want to hear more. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw. Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? Yeah, I want to hear about the picture. Definitely. The picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. Wait, Edgeworth just brought up the evidence list. The picture wasn't... That's not the evidence list. Let me look real quick. Okay, so this wasn't on the evidence list. Let me check. Evidence list of SL9 ripped in half, so only part remains. Can I not examine this? I wanted to see what was on the evidence list. Yeah, that's the... because that's one half of the evidence list. Wait, let me look at this. There's gotta be a way to examine this, right? Like, somewhere? Please? Okay, the evidence list was ripped in half, and it was lost. Or the picture was ripped, this is ripped in half, the picture was lost. And he was saying it wasn't on the evidence list. I just wanted to check to see if it was on there somewhere. Let me press on the statement. Where do you think you lost it? You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right? Yes, I wanted to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes. That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died, yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken. But I did draw it, I swear. I'm not just imagining it. This picture that Emma drew, that reminds me. I guess I should check the evidence again. Well, anyway, let's continue. The scene that imprinted an image into your mind, can you please describe it to us? The man. Okay, so it is in evidence. That just gave me a hint. So maybe something I have has the picture on it? Or something I have is a clue to the picture. So let's go all the way back here to the newest stuff. Okay, yeah, I don't think she draws that well. No, not in the Neil's autopsy report. Yeah, I don't think it'd be on here. She was there, though, and for some reason she has her hand on that cloth. I mean, I guess I should just look over each piece of evidence and see, like, maybe it's hitting me that it's on one of these. Okay, what's the... So it wasn't on the strip of cloth. And we just got the evidence list recently. I don't think it's on here. And I can't examine the evidence list. Well. That changes things a little bit. I can't... Trying to look... Is that... I think that's the picture. How did you even draw that? So there were... Okay. That was, I wasn't exactly expecting it to be there, honestly. I think that's the picture, yeah. I don't know how exactly you drew that during a murder, and why you did, but, I mean, there you go. A picture is drawn on the back of the evidence list in magic marker. Goddamn, magic marker. Really? I've got a very bad feeling about this. So that was their picture, huh? So do I'm guessing I present the evidence list? Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you still insist on denying its existence. Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that, as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. I was thinking more like, if we could find evidence of its existence, and look through, like, different things, but I didn't actually expect to have it on me. Good thing I was going through everything and checking it. That may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold, this is the evidence list for the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Turn it... Ah, what's this? That's sideways, not... Damn it, Judge. That's sideways. Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew. Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only prosecutors in charge of, only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. What? Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I was checking, the list was different than Edgeworth's list, so I thought I could find, like, the list of I thought the picture would be on the list, that list of evidence. But it seems I was mistaken. It was actually on, well, it was on the list of evidence, just in a different way. It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. They don't look very ripped, though, honestly. So so you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in the case ever reached you. What? What? Order, order. Who'd have thought the picture would have been drawn on the back of the back of the list? That was handed to Detective Goodman in the questioning room. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor. Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. Don't worry, they're always bulging. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There's something drawn on the back of my list. That is, that thing. No! No! No, why? Why is that here? No! Please don't be a part of this case, go away. That's that thing! The monstrous thing! That thing that was dancing in the evidence room! Apparently, the head of the criminal affairs used this for his blueprint. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Just anger. Pure anger. The evidence list has been updated. Oh, they were ripped in half that way. I thought they were like one big long list. Like, ripped in half like, at the midpoint. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? I want to look at this real quick because it's been updated. Oh, it only checks the backside now. God, that is creepy. Like, just having the little blue thing's head up there above the murder. It's like it was premeditated by the Blue Badger all along. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she saw the picture. Huh. So, did she remember something from the Blue Badger? I hope not. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows. After that I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw that instant. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image into your mind. Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Now he's gonna ask why it continues. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay, let's see. So this is about Neil's death. So, the main things to find contradictions, I need to find something that connects to this strip of cloth. Possibly something in this picture. I still want to know about that vase that's in the background right there. Because we can obviously see that. And that was taken the day he got the award. So, that was before he was murdered, but... Yeah, it was right before he was murdered, but it was on the same day, I'm pretty sure. Because he got the award the day he was murdered, I'm pretty sure, as they've been saying. He was stabbed in the back, died from a punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. Okay, so he stabbed in the back. So, that might be important. Stabbed in the back. Died from punctured heart and lung. So, what she saw... It's really hard to see it when it's sideways. I wish I could flip it over. It looks like he's stabbing him in the front, though. So, did she see something wrong? And why was this vase involved, too? Also, yeah, the vase with the mysterious... Dark red stains must be blood traces from the incident 2 years ago. Only fragment found in Chief Scott's office still has lines remaining on it. Yeah, so we still want to know something about that. I still think it's writing on there. Just make sure I have all my evidence in check. Okay, I think that's everything. So this is a picture I drew 2 years ago. All I can see were shadows. After that I must have fainted. The picture shows exactly what I saw that instant. Yeah, okay, that's a bit better than the sideways version. So it does look like he's stabbing him from the front, but... Okay, so the tip of the knife got broken off into his lung. He was stabbed in the back, which can be... I guess it could be in that position. Actually, the picture does show the knife. Like, that's a really weird way to draw the knife. It looks really flat, like it's already broken off the tip. And he was stabbed once, wasn't he? Yeah, he was stabbed once. I might go for the risky one and, like, try to see if there is some contradictions with the autopsy report in this picture. That's what I feel about here. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it like it was just yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of the picture contradicts the autopsy report? Knife tip. How do I... I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go for the knife tip. It looks like it's already broken off, but he was stabbed once, and this is like, this would be the first stabbing, so the knife tip was already missing. So, I'm just, I think that's the knife tip, I hope, yeah. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken. Nice. I actually paid attention and got it. Whoa. Oh. In fact, you don't even have to look that closely to see that. But, Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. Huh? Where could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Oh, what is the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right. But what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence. You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Order, order, order! Are you saying the investigation was really corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with the mom gone. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. A man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? I'm gonna pause this before I continue.